Hey everybody, Coach Tro here. Got a new game with me, Splendor Duel. All right, let's check this one out, see how it plays, and see how it compares to the Orig. Let's do it. Splendor Duel, brought to you by the good people at Space Cowboys, designed by Marc, Andre, and Bruno Cathala. Plays in about 30 minutes. Recommended ages 10 and up, though I think you can get away with a little bit younger. That's just me. Now, I'm sure everyone knows the game Splendor. Splendor was hugely popular, came out a few years ago, was just about everywhere. It was a nice family weight game, easy to teach, and so popular in fact that anytime somebody thought a game was better, they'd refer to it as a Splendor killer. All right, I don't think anyone's taken that throne. I don't think anything's been as popular, really. But, that being said, they had not the best, it wasn't the best game to play two-player. So it looks like they created a new version of it that strips down some of the stuff, adds a little bit extra, and, well, let's just see how it plays. The basic game of Splendor includes collecting gems, spending those gems to collect gem cards, and the reason you collect those gem cards is to collect points. And we have 3 different win conditions. The first is just 20 straight points on your gem cards and royal cards. The other one is if you get 10 crowns rather. 10 crowns, so if you look at the top of some of these cards, you're going to have crowns. 10 of those you win. And lastly, if you have 10 points in all the same gem color, just 10 straight points in green, white, red, black, whatever, and you win. On your turn, you have to perform 1 mandatory action, and you have 3 options. The first is picking up to 3 gems off the board. You cannot pick a gold this way. The second of which is buying a gem card by spending your gem coins and putting it into your tableau. The third of which is reserving a gem card. You haven't bought it yet, but that is how you can collect gold coins. 2 optional choices you have is if you don't like the board, you can reset it by adding all the spent tokens and adding them onto the board. If you do this action, you have to give your opponent a privileged scroll. The second optional action you have is to use said privileged scroll, allowing you to pick any coin off of the board except for the gold coins. Any other coin is up for grabs. Now, in order to buy a gem card here, you're just going to need gem coins equal to the values down here. So this one, you'll need 4 green and 3 black. So 4 emeralds, 3 onyx, all right? If I spend those coins, I get to collect this card. And why do I want to collect these cards? Well, first off, because points, all right? You want points. This card will get me 1. Some don't have any, but this one gets you 1 point, all right? The other reason is, now if I get this one, I will always have a blue, all right? Put that in my tableau, I'll always have blue. So that way, if I need to buy this card here, so it normally would cost me 2 blue, but it's only going to cost me 1 if I have this in my tableau. And the more blue I have, the cheaper that's going to be. All right? Now, other reasons you're going to get cards. Some are just worth a lot of points, like this one doesn't give you any gems, but 6 points that's a lot of points. Other ones, like this one is neat because it is a wild, so as soon as I buy this one here, I get to decide which gem tableau it goes in. It can be emerald, it could be amethyst, it could be onyx, whatever I want. I put it in that pile. It's going to remain that for the rest of the game, though. Also, there are special powers on some cards. So I look here, right underneath that, like this one is going to let me steal a gem from my opponent. So that's going to add a little more interactivity with your opponent. It's also a great way to mess them up when they look like they're about to buy something. And lastly, on these cards, we have these crowns, right? So you see there's 2 crowns on this one. Now what crowns let you do is you get 3 crowns and you get to pick a noble. All right, nobles are good because they don't cost anything. It's just once you get the crowns, you automatically get one of these. All right, so one of them will just give you 3 straight points. Other one will give you 2 points and let you take another turn immediately. Another one will give you 2 points, and then remember this symbol lets you steal an opponent's coin. And this one gives you 2 points and lets you get one of those privilege scrolls. So you get to use that at the beginning of your turn if you like, just to take a coin off the board. So lots of different options. So that's pretty much the game. You collect gem coins to get gem cards. Then you get gem cards that give you points and let you call other gem cards. And you repeat the process till you get either 20 straight points, 10 crowns, or 10 points of the same gem. Easy enough, right? Let me just start out by saying that the rules book is very well written. It has lots of illustrations, easy to read, and a handy player in the back. All right, well-written rules books are priceless. All right, get into the game. All right, now I'll just start out by saying right off the bat, I enjoyed this game. I like it. And it was an engine building game, so you're going to focus mainly on just building up your engine, building up your gems, making it easier to farm and get those other gems and get points that way. But if you focus just too much on your own, right, you're going to allow your opponent to get things they want. So you got to keep watching what they're doing. What do they need? What cards do they want? What gems do they need? Occasionally, you're going to have to sacrifice one of your turns from getting what's best for you to stop them from possibly making some kind of major move, getting those crowns and getting royals or getting some big points cards. Okay, so you're going to have to weigh that out. And also, sometimes, you're going to have to make decisions and think, I might be helping my opponent as I do this. That whole clearing the board. When you clear the board, sure, you're going to get your first share of gems, right? You're probably going to get something really good when you reset that board. But is it worth it to give your opponent a free gem? Right? You have to weigh that risk and reward. And then also looking at those... I really like the new powers on the cards that you get, so that's going to affect your decision making as well. Like I really want another white gem, but if I get that green gem right there, I get an extra turn, or I get to grab another gem off the board right away. So there's lots of good decision making, and the fact that you have 3 different ways for go for points, right? So you might have to switch up your strategy mid-game. Like I was definitely going just from a straight 20 points. I wanted to win that way. But I've got 7 points in green already, so I'm getting really close to that. I just need 3 more green points, and I can win that way. So just those other ways to win, then also you have to watch your opponent and figure out, make sure that they're not in one of those spots, because while they might be far away from 20 straight victory points, they might be able to sneak in and win on one of the other ways. So you say, I like this game. It's not too brain-burny, but it's got enough in there to keep you thinking, but it's going to move quick enough, okay? You're not going to suffer any analysis paralysis. I mean, you could if you're that kind of player of staring at the cards to figure out the best move. But I don't think this game really lends itself to that too much, all right? There's just it's what you want to make of it. You could really take that time to focus in on your opponent, make sure they have no good moves, or, you can just really focus on your own. So you can play this a few different ways, and, while you do need to balance everything out, you're gonna find a way that kind of adapts to your play style. And so I think that's just nice. So yeah, I enjoyed this game. And bonus points because my girlfriend enjoyed it as well. So that is gonna make this game a keeper for sure. All right. Well, now let's actually break it out and let's compare it now to the old Splendor and just see what's different, what's better, what's worse. Now, first off, obviously the size is different. Splendor Duel actually looks like it would be an expansion for Splendor, right? Might not seem like a big deal, but shelf space is always a big deal. All right. Also looking in on it, the artwork is different, okay? Now, you got your original Splendor, it's got that Broke style, whereas the new Splendor here, it's kind of got it's cartoonish, almost anime style, all right? I like this style a lot better, okay? Maybe it just might be a personal thing, but I like this one a whole lot more. Otherwise, if you're looking at our tokens, right? The big thing about Splendor was these nice, solid, chunky tokens. All right, it's got the same. They're not as big, but they feel, it's the same. Good quality. Yeah, they feel nice to have. All right, I don't know, something about grabbing these tokens. Either one, it's very satisfying. Although I am sad though because the old ones I saw, the Onyx always looked like a piece of chocolate to me. Not so much in the new game. Well. Card size also, all right? Now, I know it's a smaller game, and so it's cut with these smaller card sizes. I don't know. I like regular card sizes. Something about these smaller ones, they just never seem to shuffle right. Not a huge fan. I don't know. So, I do like the card size better of the original Splendor. All right? And then how you get your gems is a major difference, all right? You've got this board. This board is it's going to make it a lot more difficult to get the gems you want. Where in Red Splendor, you could just grab what you needed. In this one, you got to make sure that the gems you want are connected somehow in a row, right? You can still only grab 3, but it's a lot more difficult to get the ones you want. The addition of the pearl in Splendor Duel does mix up the cost because there's only a few pearls. There's only a couple pearls in the game. So they are a lot more precious and more difficult to get. And these actually make it a little easier to block certain cards that your opponent needs. So if you know your opponent is looking for a certain card, but it needs a pearl, snatch those up and don't spend them, and you're going to stop them from making moves like that. So I do like the addition of this pearl. All right, and then the 3 different win conditions, all right? Nice having 3 different win conditions as opposed to just points. So you get your 20 straight points, and say that's probably the most popular way to win is just by getting 20 straight points. But the 10 points in a gem of a certain color, that is another really big way. Like that's the one where when you're getting your points and you're getting your cards, you're going to realize that I'm actually pretty close to just getting a straight 10. If I just switch and focus on that, I can sneak out a win that way. The 10 crowns is probably the most difficult. I haven't seen a win happen by that way yet. I'm sure it can happen. I just haven't seen it. But I do like the fact that you have multiple paths to victory, right? And probably the biggest thing, the biggest difference that I really like about Splendor Duel is the powers, all right? So on the different noble cards, there's going to be certain powers you can do, and on some of the gem cards, there's certain powers. So you can right away have another turn. You can steal a gem from your opponent, or you can snatch another gem off the board. Just having those is that's huge, right? And I really like that. It adds that player interaction. It adds just another level of the game. All that being said, this one is going to be a keeper, all right? Going to be sitting on my shelf for a bit. All right, so I like the changes that they made. I like the improvements over the base game's 2-player version. There just wasn't enough in that for me for 2 players. I really like 3 and 4, but it just was no fun at 2-player. This adds a lot of fun mechanics to it. It's still easy enough. I can bring it anywhere and teach just about anybody. There's enough in this game. It's fun enough. It's thinky enough to play multiple times. It's going to see probably more than its fair share of plays. So, like I said, and the biggest factor, the number one factor in my keeping this is the fact that my girlfriend likes it, okay? That's always going to be, if she likes the game, it's staying. So, definite keeper for me. Tell me what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Anyway, this is Coach Trey, and I'll see y'all next time.